entertainer.
Yeah.
You remember the incident with you and me and the bike?
Oh, is this when you were teaching me to ride and you sent me down the hill towards the dump
And no brakes?
and I had the scars to prove it?
No brakes.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't have the scars. I can't remember.
I had forgotten I didn't have brakes, Dot.
Backed it out.
He put you on the hump and set you off on the hump, and you went straight down and off the bank onto the road.
Yeah. But this is
And another time you went down
On the road.
west and hit a beehive, but luckily it was one that had empty. You could not stop it.
And another time he was coming down the hill from where Cafferty's lived, and Dot was in the way, and
yes.
she didn't get out of the way or something, and he ran right into her and knocked her teeth out.
That's right.
Okay.
But they were baby teeth, fortunately. I guess they were baby teeth because you did get other teeth, didn't you?
I did. They're not false. I got.
You were
And
taking,
I remember you had a bloody mouth.
I think she was still in diapers, wasn't she?
And I had to go to.
You're about 5 years old, weren't you, Dorothy?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had just gravelled that road.
I just went into school. Yeah, because my first grade picture, I don't have any teeth.
and why did you go to St. Joe? Because you were taken to St. Joe.
I guess a specialist. I don't know.
And you were offered all this, I went with you. I think it was just Mom and Daddy, you and me. And they told you could have all the ice cream you wanted afterwards. And I was just looking forward to it because I was going long on this trip and you didn't want any ice cream.
Kind of like when you have your tonsils out. You can have ice cream now. That's the last thing you want is that cold ice cream on your throat.
Exactly. I remember that, Mary Kay.
I remember that.
I thought, oh, great, ice cream. And oh, it was horrible. I said, get this away. Oh, when Chuck mentioned about the priest, the pastor, concerned about them teaching an inner city school, I thought of something with the Black Lives Matter. This was in our culture. I was in the 8th grade. Sister Diplomacy had me do a reading for the PTA meeting. Remember, we'd go down and stand on the stage? And this is how it started, I remember. I's Topsy. I's come from the South. I'm here to help you celebrate this powerful, important feast day. Can you imagine?
It was, Mary Kay, it was to help them white folks.
Yeah. And that was, you know, it was just imbued in our culture to be at Catholic school doing that for a PTA meeting. When Chuck said that, all of us hit me. I was up there saying, I's Topsy. Oh my gosh.
What was the point of that?
And you had
What?
blackface.
What was the point?
The pulpit.
It
Point.
was Father Matthew's feast day.
Yeah.
And some of the college girls wrote this little thing. They wrote things for us to do,
Okay.
children. And Mary Kay was chosen to do that one, and she was in blackface with pillows and everything. And you came
And a
out.
kimono.
I remember that. I's Topsy, I's come from the South to help them white folks celebrate this powerful, important feast day.
Mary Kay, don't ever run for office. They'll dig that up.
Dig that up.
No, I just thought, last night they had a program at our church, lecture, or it was black priest and the white priest talking about racism. Very good. And you know how it was just deep in our culture.
Well,
Still
I have
is.
a Charles story, maybe. I don't know if it's Charles or not. I think so. Remember when the Nephews were on the tractor and they released the brakes?
The brakes.
Charles?
Well,
We
they were
couldn't stop it.
We parked it on a hill so we could jump start it. And they stood on the clutch and it started down the hill. So I had to run out of the kitchen down and rescue the tractor.
Mm.
The way Bill was turning out kids, we could always get more kids.
That was Alan and
We only had
David,
one tractor.
Alan, David, and Mike.
Right.
They were going toward the hen house or the orchard.
They were just going
Down
down
past
the
the
hill.
hen house on the north.
Oh,
Straight to
okay.
the house.
Charles still talks about that, David, and appreciates you.
Yep.
Saving his life.
Saving their lives.
So did they remember it?
Oh, yes.
David does.
Mike talks about it.
I've got something about Father Matthew. You mentioned him a while ago in the celebration.
Uh-huh.
St. Benedict's would not allow blacks to go to church up there. So Father Matthew started a church for blacks in the basement of the St. Benedict school. So there's your Christian values for you.
The church has a terrible history. Here in Kansas City, Kansas, there was a white school on Quindaro Boulevard, and about 4 blocks away was the black school. And the Sisters of Charity taught in both schools. One was white, one was black. That was back in the 50s.
Mm.
It's just hard to believe that.
You know, the best thing that ever happened in Atchison was Kerford.
Good
Somehow he became wealthy and he
Mhm.
helped the black people. He used his wealth to help them.
You know, Muchnick owned the Rockwell, the locomotive. He built a
LFM.
swimming pool for blacks north of Division.
Right, the LFM pool.
Yep.
Did Mushnick do that? I thought Kerford did that.
No, Mushnick did that. That's why they call it the LFM pool.
Okay, great.
Well, you,
What did Kerford do then?
Griffin said that.
Had a quarry.
And moved to Colorado when he made his
Colorado?
money?
I don't know.
He ended up in Colorado, I know.
Mm.
you know the song "Just a Closer Walk with Thee" was composed by a man from Atchison.
Really?
He was what's that name? The family that's so prominent in Atchison, African Americans, and a couple of them worked at the Mount.
Not Bratton's.
No. Anyway, he worked at LFM at that time, and the people he worked with, I don't think there were very many blacks there, but they would mess up his work. And he would come back like from a break and find that it had all been undone. And he went into the bathroom and he was so angry and he was so upset. He went into the bathroom and he began to pray and he began to sing, "Just a Closer Walk with Thee."
Really? How did you know that story?
I've known it for some time. It was in the Atchison Globe one time.
Oh.
And the family took it to gospel music
Uh-huh.
meeting in Chicago, and they sang it, this family. Oh, what's the family name? I'll think of it. And anyway, it's become part of the lexicon for African Americans all over the country.
Right.
Just a Closer Walk with Thee had its beginning at LFM.
Mm.
I'll be darned. I didn't know that. We watch Johnny Cash every Saturday and Sunday,
Johnny
and
Cash.
that's one of his favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash.
I can remember going up to the professional building there by Ramsey's where the doctors were and riding the elevator with Mom. And then when we came back down, I said, Mom, and we said Negroes then, where do Negroes work? How did they buy groceries? Where did they get their jobs? Because you never saw them in Atchison much. They stayed north of Division, you know?
Mary Kay, was one of them running the elevator?
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She was running the elevator. That's the only time. Then I was concerned, well, where else did they work? There aren't that many elevators in Atchison. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a whole enclave of them south of Price Boulevard, 10th Street, down in there. You know where Spring Street went south of 10th Street?
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole enclave of them down in there and north of Division. Do you remember that?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
first one. North of Division, sure.
Well, one thing I want, before we finish with Chuck, one thing I want to remember is just how hospitable you have been over the years, you and Ginny, to me and to the family, hosting all the family celebrations, because I was always there for Christmas and Easter and major feast days, 4th of July, all kinds of things. And it was just great being with your family and being with your children. I got to know them so well over the years. I'm just so grateful for that.
I can think of how much work that was having them before you finish the house, having them in the basement. Then I remember one Christmas, we had Christmas in the basement, and Wayne and I came up and helped you lay the kitchen floor. I can remember that.
Remember the time, Charles, and we came home on vacation and took the roof off of your house?
Sure do. You put it right on too.
And you
What's
added
that?
those cupolas, didn't you, after you had the fire in your house? You wanted Chuck to have those cupolas? Did you do that when you came home one summer, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
God.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that you cut holes in the roof and really raised the roof. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Bill,
Yes.
that made this house. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Well, you
remember
need,
you two
You need
talking,
that.
and then all at once it was happening. It's amazing.
yeah.
The year
Somehow we
before,
all got involved.
We kind of improvised as we went.
Went.
well, the year before, we had helped you on your house in South Carolina.
Well, you sure did. And
Sure did.
you had Mike with you, remember?
Remember?
Right? Mike and
Yep.
David had some escapades.
And I remember, so, you know, when you left, we still had a lot to do. And I felt so sorry for myself because there was so much undone, but I also felt very grateful for how you helped us. So I had mixed emotions about it.
I did too.
And you did the kitchen for Mom. That was in summer of '67. Mom was so proud of that kitchen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Charles, you did a good job.
Good job on it.
Well, and then when you three boys did the bathroom so it'd be a walk-in shower for Daddy, that was so perfect for him to walk in and sit down and Mom to bathe him. He couldn't get out of a bathtub for love nor money.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Was Bill home for that? I remember John and Chuck.
Bill was in on it for a while, I think, weren't he?
He was there, sure.
Yeah.
And remember, Chuck, you helped Dad to do the electricity throughout the house.
Oh, that's a funny story. I had finished at St. Benedict's in December, and I was going to KU in January, so I had a month and a half. Nothing to do. And I'd heard for some time about the electricity in the house, that old wiring from the 1920s, I guess. So I suggested to our dad that we wire the house. So we went down, got all the wiring we needed and all the other equipment. Got upstairs, and I got the ladder over for our dad to go up. And he said, well, I can't get up there.
You mean in
Back. So I got a book, How to Wire a House, climbed up in the attic and wired the house.
Yeah, because all the spools were up there.
It's still working.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All
The boy who harnessed the wind. All
You should have saved some of those spools and made a lamp or something out of them.
Your bedroom was the only one with 2 plug-ins.
Yep,
Yeah.
still is.
They weren't considered so important then, I guess.
Remember what we did before that? We had the socket in the middle of the room,
Right.
and we put a double thing in it. You had a light in one and a plug in the other.
Mm-hmm.
Then you stretch those extension cords across the room.
We still do that in the south room when we're there.
Dorothy and I had that in the south room because we didn't have a plug-in except the one by the door. So we had it all the way across to the window, the south window, and then down.
Door?
We were still doing that a couple of years ago when we were staying there.
You know,
Did anybody,
Go ahead, Bill.
does anybody know that our dad wired the church at Donovan every Christmas for New Year's Mass? He'd take the wiring and the batteries out of the basement
The basement?
to supply the power, bring up his wires across the top ceiling and plug in his batteries. Anybody know that?
I didn't know that.
Is
I
that
didn't
Christmas lights, Bill?
Pardon?
Christmas lights?
Christmas, yes, for New Year's Mass, or Christmas Mass,
Mhm.
Christmas Eve.
Wow.
A dot.
So it didn't have electricity, you brought in a generator or what?
Well, we had the generator in the basement and a couple car batteries, and that's what operated the light in the living room and the radio. There was only two
Radio.
things on it, the light and radio.
But
But then he
St.
would
John's
take-
didn't have electricity.
Pardon?
St. John's did not have electricity
No,
then.
nobody had electricity. It
Okay.
wasn't around.
What did you do at home without the generator and the batteries? Just be in the dark? Kerosene lights?
Hmm.
In the dark?
Yeah, kerosene
When-
lamps,
when-
didn't you?
Kerosene
I didn't
lamps?
understand.
If the generator and the batteries went to the church, then you were left in the dark at home because you wouldn't have anything to produce electricity.
Well, he'd bring it back. And we had kerosene lights, of course.
Okay, that's what I thought you'd do with the kerosene lights for the Christmas season. Wow.
Well, when we were younger and went up to Grandma and Grandpa's, Elias, they always brought out the kerosene lamps in the evening. And they didn't get electricity until the early 50s. And then they got television right away. And we
Remember
didn't have
that was
television.
first.
And so we went up and they had lights and they had television and we would go up and watch. We loved it, watching Hopalong Cassidy on Sunday afternoon.
And then they added that room on the north and had their deep freeze. Remember how proud Helen was for her deep freeze?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt that bought the electricity to the farms.
The
Right.
REA,
Is that the REA?
REA, yep.
Mhm.
Electrification Administration, I guess.
Mhm.
He helped a lot of poor people.
You know, the Wagners didn't have electricity or telephone until the late 60s.
Right.
Really?
I think that's right. I remember going down there. They had a lamp in the living room that was
A
a
lamp.
gas lamp, and it put out almost white light, just like an electric bulb.
A bulb.
But you had to pump it up.